Continuing our exploration of all the fun stuff today, we will have a look at CSS gradients. You have a link in Blackboard about this as well, so you can click on this link and see it. It's at W3 Schools. CSS gradient is basically this transition. I mean, you probably know what a gradient is. Transition from one color to another color gradually. That's what it is. It doesn't have to be gradual. So you can transition from, say, black to white with no fuzzy transition, and if you want to make something like a column, something that looks like a column, so it doesn't have to be a gradual transition. It can be quite abrupt, but it's originally meant to be a transitional item such as this, red to yellow with a transition in the middle. This is a linear gradient, which just goes in a straight line. So if you're familiar with Photoshop gradients, this will seem normal. It can go up and down, it can go left to right. It can go at a diagonal depending on, so you can specify a top left and a bottom right. There's lots of different ways that you can do gradients. And I know you can read, and so I will refer you to this excellent reference. You can also do fancy stuff like using multiple color stops. This is another type of thing that people will use if you want to make columns of color. They don't have to be gradual. Again, it could be a red, completely red, then a stripe of orange, then a stripe of yellow. So it is possible to do that with gradients, even though all the examples here are shown as a gradual transition. The transition can be abrupt. Good examples. Let's go down to radial gradients. You know, this is one of these things where I don't know if I would ever use this, but it exists. Maybe I would use it. You will want to use a generator though. Let's use a generator in order to apply a gradient to the file that I still have open, which is from the previous video. So it's down in week 12. There's a generator, one of many gradient generators. Brings us to the CSS portal gradient generator, where we can specify the colors that we want and lots of other items. There are some presets, so you can play as much as you want, and I'll just show you how to generate one. I'll use a preset here. This is more of a column one. Let's get rid of that so we have more of a something like this, like start and stop and end, 100%. So this goes just from light on one side to dark on the other. Again, it doesn't matter what sets what you're setting. Just try something. What it's doing in real time is generating the gradient for you, and you can take all of this and copy it. So what you'll notice as you look over here is that there is a lot of different code that's being generated here. What is that? Well, turns out that there's the different browsers support gradients as they support various other things in different ways. And so right now in 2018, life is a little bit icky, and will probably continue to be icky for some time, which means that you have to actually put in different rules for different browsers. So all of this grossness goes inside whatever thing you want to apply the gradient to. Copy. Back to my brackets where I have been editing this, which was antique white. Instead of my antique white color, I'm going to substitute in my new color. Wow, yikes, beautify. World of hurt. This will be coming up. We'll have a quick video about this too. So I need this for all my various browsers. Save and refresh in Chrome. And there's my gradient, or half of my gradient. Some of it I can't see because it's hidden by this other column. So that is the essence of gradients. Lessons here, use a generator. Lesson 2, icky, multiple things needed for different browsers. More on that shortly.